why me? Why? Keeping the faith. The doctors at first, they were saying that, I was young and, we may not be able to have children. Do I cry? Do I get it over with? It was in my lungs. It was pelvis. It was everywhere.
You had a choice and you made a decision. You had two options to choose faith or fear. Right. You chose faith and you stuck with it.
The Lord is saying something pertaining to business and me and my aunt.
So you moving forward and you started GOE Team.
GOE Team for a business owner is we meet you where you are. Because the thing is, a lot of times people, they just have just an inkling in their mind that I want to start a business. I need to do something more.
Welcome, family, to Unlock with Keys. I am your host, Maikia Latia, and today we are unlocking the story behind a woman who did not allow life's diagnosis to stop her from building the empire she deserved. She has beat breast cancer twice and now helps business owners to create the life that they want. With the help of her ambitious niece, they have built a village behind their brand. Please welcome Taneisha Tucker and Ayanna Lockwood.
Woo.
Welcome.
Hey, boo. Hey, girl.
Hey, ladies. Hey, girl. Hey. Phew, we got to the intro. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great.
Good.
I'm so excited to talk with you. I know we've been meeting for the past few weeks, and I'm just excited for you to tell your stories and really just help people to understand what GOE Team is and just all that you do. So, Taneisha and Ayanna, let's get going. Y'all ready?
Yeah.
Let's get to it.
Let's
Awesome. So, Taneisha, tell me, I pretty much gave a pretty, descriptive, introduction, but what are two words that would describe who Taneisha is?
Man, I'm purpose-driven. Purpose-driven. It's like, it's just crazy because every time I hear my story, somebody talk about me, like what I actually went through, like in the past, and this is a series of like 6 years. Like, wow, I'm like, the enemy's coming for me. So I know something great has to be coming. So, it's just amazing to be able to talk to people, for one, on different notes, because a lot of times when people are going through some type of a diagnosis or things, people are always going through. You're either like just getting out of one problem, on the way to the next one, calling up, and it's always it's cycles, right? So with that, and just kind of getting people to realize, like, just because something happened to you, it's not yours. And God still has a plan for you. So you stay with that, and you just So let's talk about that. So you started with purpose driven, but you also said you experienced this 6 years in a row, or 6 years total, correct? I'm sorry if I
go ahead, go for it.
The first bout of breast cancer was in 2017. And at this point, I'm 32. Nobody in my family ever had any type of diagnosis like that. So the confusing part, on my niche, was really not really trying to ask, like, why? A lot of people, that's your first thing. Why me? Why? But I just encourage you to say, why not me? Because at the end of the day, your creator built you for anything that's gonna come your way. So he knows you can get through it. And so that's the first time, I'm like, okay, boom, whatever, God, he's with me.
What are you thinking? Breast cancer. What's going through your mind?
So honestly, I'm always a positive person. And the crazy thing was, when we first got the diagnosis, me and my husband, we had been married for 2 years at the time, and we had just bought a house. And the crazy thing I just realized was that I manifested that house like years ago, or that neighborhood. Without even thinking about it. Like, I saw this house that was on this water, and I was like, oh, that's my house. You know what? That's my neighborhood. Look at the back of that, all that water and stuff, right? So right then, like right when we first got the diagnosis, the doctor calls. I just found out we had a private beach. I was like, the realtor, she could have won me on. As soon as she would have said, private beach. But she didn't even know.
Send me your address after this episode. I'm coming over.
But look, so honestly, when she told me, and it's all I heard, okay, so you have breast cancer, blah, blah, blah. It turned into the, how, what is that, Charlie Brown, how the adults sound.
Okay.
Wah, 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 wah. Because it's just a lot. What you talking about? Okay, you saying this, just get to the whole point of things. Because if you're saying, I have this cancer right here, and you're just talking to me about and it's probably important things, she was just doing her job.
Right.
But, okay, my thought is, okay, if it's breast cancer, I'm here. what we got to do to get it out.
Amen.
So I could just keep going with this life.
Come on.
And going with my purpose. Because everything purpose driven. Like that, right? But so my husband was there too, which was a blessing because we were always like ships passing in the night. So he's there, he's hearing everything. And after, he's kind of like shooken. And I'm like, this was like the best day ever, babe. And he was like, Taneisha, you were just told that you had breast cancer.
Wow.
And I was like, no, but babe, we don't know. We got a beach. Like, we never get to spend time together.
Better.
Like this. So, I was like, God got that. You God got it on that, whatever, right? Let's just go see what this is about. And my whole time with breast cancer, I met this lady in the beginning. I was, because, when you get a diagnosis, your life just can't shut down. If you got work, you still got to work. You got whatever, you still got, you got to do life still. So I do a lot of speaking at different events. And I was at like this home event, a small event, and this one lady, because I was, kind of just got the diagnosis, so I was telling people.
Yeah.
And she told me, she was like, she was a 2-time survivor. And she said that, honestly, like Jesus, just know with everything that Jesus is a gentleman.
Okay.
She said, anything that you ask him, he's going to do it. He's going to take you through it. So I've been using that, what she said, through everything in life. Like, he's a gentleman. So like, Lord, I need this to happen. So my main thing with cancer, most of the time people, you associate cancer, you think, okay, losing your hair, you're going to be bald. You're going to be people, they're throwing up, losing all this weight. Me, I've always been on the slim side. So I'm like, I don't have too much weight to lose. And then I love to eat. So, Lord, I don't want to not want my food that I got. So it's probably like little trivial things that I ask. But see, my daddy loved me. So really and truly, I never got sick. Like chemo did not take me out. I mean, I'm not trying to belittle anybody who it does, but I asked my father, I don't want to go through that. I know you love all your children. You do.
Yeah.
However, right now, being your favorite, I just need this to happen. I don't want to get sick. I didn't want to lose all this weight. And actually, I was probably the best. The first time around, for really, you couldn't tell me nothing because she was thick. Okay, I had my And one thing I didn't pray. I didn't ask God about anything with my hair. I'm like, if it does fall out, we'll start over brand new.
Come on.
My hair did fall out, and it was like a real pivotal moment because I was like, it was kind of like a I am not my hair moment.
Okay.
It's just coming out, whatever. So that right there was the exciting part. But just knowing that God delivers. Like, anything that you ask him. And I did that. So everything that I asked him for, I went through surgery. That probably was like the craziest time, like the healing and everything. But me realizing too that even though this was happening to me, it was really happening to my husband too, because he was watching me go through this. Like I'm going bald. He fell in love with this woman who was this, that, and the other, hair life. And then she bald head. And he's like, baby, the thing is, I was with you bald head. You just beautiful. This is, little things. I love you for you. Little things, right? To have that there. But with the breast cancer, the main thing, honestly, is the mental. So that's why with the GOE Team, my main thing, the first thing is, if somebody comes on board, we do mindset training. Because they say much is mental. Honestly, everything is mental.
Absolutely.
And you got to keep when people say you got to keep your head in the game, because it's going to be things that hit you in business, in life, period. So you just really got to go and run with the flow. And that's really what the GOE Team is. So the GOE Team it stands for God over everything.
Come on.
And that's really how I've come to live my life.
Right.
Has to be.
Listen, your spirit is just so bright right now. Like, girl, just to hear you go. And I know we touched on your story, but like just to hear you explain it in this context, there's just so much you just said. Like so many powerful things. Like, first thing, you had a choice and you made a decision. You had two options to choose faith or fear. You chose faith and you stuck with it. Not only that, you're talking about how your husband is also seeing you go through this. Whatever choice, whatever decision you would have made would have also affected him as well during this journey. And not only did you choose faith, but I look at it as God rewarding you for trusting him. And you still trusted him to say, okay, God, we still got life to live. I'm here. Like, I am here. This is where you want me to be, so this is where I'm going to stay. And this is what I'm going to be committed to. That is powerful. I don't think you hear enough testimonies like that.
No, you don't.
You don't.
Wow.
Ayanna, as seeing your aunt go through this.
To be honest, what's so funny is because she's so positive during the chemo and everything, she didn't let anything stop her. When it happened the second time, we all were like, huh? But I remember when she said that it possibly may be, I'm like, Auntie, I'm about to call you right now. We finna pray. And you know what? Lord, you're going to do your will and she's going to be okay. But then, you start like seeing her go through different things, like her, fingernails and hair. And I was like, you know what, Auntie, I decree and I declare that your hair going to grow back faster and even more healthier than it was before. But just have moments, but she still, kept faith. And I feel like it even has inspired me because, everything's in the mindset of like, sometimes you think different things, even when you're not diagnosed with something happens and you're like, okay, I can think like this. But then I'm like, you know what? She's right. You have a choice to choose faith or fear. And, you should just lean on the Lord in these different times and not really allow the enemy to plant things in your mind because that's usually what that is,
Yeah, and that'll cause more toxins in your body.
Right.
Now, what was already being delivered to you as a diagnosis is either going to continue to grow and create something else or you can kill it there. Like, that's not God's will. Thank you for the level of awareness, but let's keep it going.
Okay, exactly. That's what they got to do. They're there for a reason. You need the doctors. They got to tell you what they study and let them practice on us because it's their practice.
Right.
No disrespect, no shade. But from there, that's when your mental has to go to work then. It's got to kick in because people literally worry themselves to death.
And I was going to say that, you think about people in movies and stuff like that, when they're diagnosed, they're like, moping and weeping, but that wasn't her. Like, she's like, okay, we're gonna come in here and we're gonna be okay, everybody. Like when she goes to her chemo and everything, like she's gonna be, I'm gonna be all right. And you should tell her what you told the doctor. Tell her what you told the doctor.
I be hyping up the people in chemo like, yes, love chemo, y'all. We all right. Like,
we are.
Yep.
but no, like, so that's the second time around.
So
I just
we there now. So the second time.
So talked about, so the first time, all that, it was a whole lot. So when this 5 years later, right? 5 years, most of the time people, and then I don't want people to like, you look at this and you think like, okay, I've been through cancer before or whatever, and maybe it's 4 years. And you're like, maybe it came back to her and it was 5 years ago. No, do not start thinking that because something happened to somebody else that it may come back.
Come on.
Right.
At all, right? Because we casting it out. Like if it tried to come and you conquered it, it was for a reason. Don't even try to think it back up.
Right.
But
that's a good disclaimer.
That was for somebody. But just to say,
that was a great disclaimer.
Because I was just talking to somebody earlier, and I was like, because I was like, I don't even want to harp on when that mine came back because they're excited right now about just being free of what the enemy tried.
That's right.
So I'm not putting that in nobody's hand that it's coming back because it's not. But so second time around, right? It's like at this point, I'm just excited because of the fact that everything that's happening. Like I've started this company, right?
Yeah.
God Over Everything Consulting, because really people were like, I would run into a lot of people, and I was helping a lot of people make some nice money. But the problem is, it's like when people, you get some money in your hand, and you're not used to it, and you don't really understand whose it belongs to.
Right.
Come on.
So I'm like, Lord, I just send me some people who know you, or at least open, so that I could just tell them about like what they could do, different things, right? So that was God Over Everything. It was really a God idea, and it was inspired by just what I was around, because I didn't want, the thing is, a lot of people, when you see, they'll say, okay, if you're Christian and you talk about money, you're doing things, then you're going the opposite way. But I'm like, God wants us to be fruitful and to help others.
Several scriptures to back up.
Always, right?
Our prosperity and abundance.
Yes, especially like, I don't want to get to preaching right now.
You might have Deuteronomy, is that what you said?
Right.
But no, go ahead, continue.
Yeah, but so that was like where the GOE Team started.
Yeah.
But then the thing is, it's like, okay, I go through all these things and I'm, keeping the faith. The doctors at first, they were saying that, I was young and, we may not be able to have children because of all the stuff that's about to happen to my body and all this. We could do different things like to try to like freeze some eggs or freeze some embryos and stuff just to hold on to just in case or whatever. But they were like, but my body might not be able to hold a baby.
Okay.
But it's probably the first time me really saying that, because I never like
claimed any of that.
I never claimed it. I was just like, okay, what's now? How do we get this cancer out? You can talk about it. Okay, whatever. Okay. But so here, 5 years later, I have a baby boy who is about to turn 3 years old. Wow. And I'm like, God gave him, like we prayed for him. We wanted this baby. And I'm like, when me and my husband first got married, we was like, yeah, we're going to have two. And then in a surprise, we always joke about the surprise. It was like, better be careful.
Right.
But, at this point, I'm like just happy to have one because, we did. We had a couple of miscarriages that we lost, like just on our own and everything. And, the first time it was like, so honestly, when we first got our house and found out about the breast cancer, that was a baby that really told me about the cancer because we had just had a miscarriage. And this lump that I found during the pregnancy, I had asked the doctors about, and they said that it was probably like just milk ducts forming. And, you know, they get clotted sometimes, so, you know, it's just going to dissipate. So a few months after we lost the baby, and I'm like, okay, doc, it's still here. So do y'all have to do something to like drain it or whatever? Yeah, right. It's like, you know what, we're going to do a biopsy. So I had my first and last mammogram.
Okay.
Say that right. I say first and last because I don't, you know, the surgery, I got double mastectomy, meaning I said take them so they won't come back.
Okay.
Again, right. But yeah, so we had to get a mammogram, and that right there really kind of got me because of the fact that insurance doesn't cover mammograms until you're 40. 40.
Yeah, because that's when they recommend women to go get looked at.
Right.
Yeah. But
you were 32?
Yeah, that was 32. But I had 2 bouts of breast cancer before 40. So something has to change for sure. Something has to change. Sure. You know what I mean? Not that I'm not begging people to go get your stuff smashed up, because that needs to change. All this technology that we got here, you mean to tell me that's still y'all operate?
They said we got to make sure we got to
put it on the table
out.
like try to really got to be another way.
Wow.
But yeah, so just with doing that, the second time around, it didn't come in my even though like I got the double mastectomy and I got reconstruction, so it's like, I wasn't crazy with it, like, hey, just throw me all on there. I'm kind of like a little bit bigger than before, whatever, right? But it didn't come here. It's under my arm,
really,
on the side of it. So I guess because your breasts go all around. It's just so many pieces.
So what did you discover underneath your arm?
So it was a boil.
Okay.
You know, sometimes like you might get like little bumps or something, but they go away. So I thought it was a boil. I was like, man, but this one is still here. Like it's kind of starting to hurt.
And it just stayed there.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I was so small. I'm so small that you could see it. Like it's just a knot.
Really?
Like this is so weird. So I went asked the doctor. I was like, so I have like this under my arm. I don't know what. Just okay. We'll come check it out. When they did for a while, they was like, well, it probably would. I was like, no, it's been here for a couple months. So they did a biopsy, and when they did that, it's something, okay, whenever the doctor, most of the time when you go get a procedure done, they're doing biopsies or whatever like that, it's not the actual doctor that comes in to tell you things. But right after or during it, they was like, yeah, Dr. such and such wants to see you. They're going to come talk to you for a minute. I'm like, okay. And he came in, and the look on his face was kind of like, and he's just kind of down. He's talking real somber. He was like, you have 5 masses under your arm. I'm like, that little dot produced 5 masses? And he was, I was like, so how
you just floating away.
Right. And it was just like, okay. So then he was like he wanted to say more and more. I'm like, okay, so what's next? What do we have to do? And he was like, well, we really were highly concerned about these masses. And I was like, so I need to tell my family? He's like, yeah, probably so. So I thought, you know what? Let me tell you one thing. Jesus Christ healed me 5 years ago.
Come on.
And he is going to do it again. Like I looked at him straight on in his face and told him that. He was kind of taken back. And he's like, okay. And then from there, it's kind of like all I remember is leaving out of there and going into the bathroom or the changing room to change back. And I look in the mirror and I was like, okay, all right, since you're ready for this. And I was like, do I cry? Do I get it over with? And then I was like, okay, Lord, you know what? I'm here for the testimony. Because right then and there, he didn't say cancer right then, actually, but his results showed stage 4 breast cancer. But when he said that, your 5 masses, you need to tell your family because this is serious.
Wow.
I'm like, he's going to do it again. Whatever it is that this ailment is trying to happen, it's not real.
Yeah.
False evidence appearing real. No, it's not real. So, when I drove home, my main thing, and I laugh at it because throughout this whole breast cancer time, first off, the guy told me that it's not going to be the same. It's not going to be like, you're not going to go through.
The fact that he already said that.
Yeah, you're not going to go through what you did last time. You're not going through that. It's going to be easy, and I got you. Okay. So I was like, well, I'm here for the testimony the whole time. So when I say it's craziness, is that, and it wasn't, because at first when I had to meet with the doctors, and the doctor said, okay, so first we're going to start with chemo, and then we're going to do radiation, then surgery. Then we got to kind of search some things up so we can put you on another medication. And then, she was going down the line of things. But I didn't worry about that, because I was like, well, God said it wasn't going to be like it was before. And the first time they said that it might be a possible radiation, and it wasn't.
Right.
So I didn't do all of that.
So you're not doing radiation this time either.
Right, exactly. So it was going to be 8 rounds we're going to start with of chemo, all this, right? And God said, no, it's not going to be that.
Okay.
How about 5 rounds? 5 rounds of chemo, no radiation, no surgery.
Come
4
on.
months. 4 months. This was December when I found out. All this happened from December, January, February, March.
And they
Just
said
April.
you had stage 4.
It was stage 4.
Oh,
Baby,
my
let me tell you.
goodness.
I'm sorry, I'll get on the whole. This is a whole, the
Say
whole
that.
thing.
Say it.
It was everywhere. Wow. So you say breast cancer, right? It was everywhere. It was to the point when I got the results, I had to laugh because it was in my lungs. It was pelvis. It was everywhere. It was in my bone. It was everywhere. And I was like, I was like, what? Because I just read it. And it's doctor jargon, so I can't understand.
Okay.
So I called my one of my girlfriends in Atlanta. Her husband is a doctor. He's not a breast cancer oncologist, but he knows the terms. He does everything. So I was like, can he please read this to me? And so he kind of explained this to me in English. So he went through it, and he was the one who really told me that this was stage 4 cancer. Because he was like, not worried. He was talking to a doctor sense. He was like, yeah, because normally when we have like things like you have, which is stage 4 cancer, this is and that. And the only thing was that I wish, because my husband was listening to our conversation.
Okay.
Only thing that he got was, you got stage 4 cancer.
Oh, Lord.
My wife has stage 4. And I was like, babe, no. So
I don't. The paper say I don't know.
So from there, first thing I had to do, because he was telling people, he was going off on I didn't realize this is when I'm like, I got to prepare, even just keep my husband with me. Like, we got to stay girded up together in some kind of way because, he's at work like, oh, my wife has stage 4 cancer. He's, just trying to come through with himself because he's just thinking about how, we wanted this baby. We have this baby, and I'm like an integral part of his life. He know how his mom was to his life. Wow. And he's like, man, when he sees me and him, he thinks of his mom a lot, so it's so much that's deep just within that. But when he was telling me just in a separate conversation outside of there, and he's like, well, babe, you understand, you have stage 4 cancer. I was like, pause and nope, close your mouth. Don't you ever say that again, because I do not have stage 4 anything. You could just say stage blah. So when people was asking me about a stage, anything, I was like, no, stage blah, it's nothing. I didn't tell anybody about stage 4 cancer until after April, when I got the results. When it was gone. When it was gone. I don't want, see, the first time around too, I didn't tell anybody. No. I had like just a little circle. I know some people were kind of mad at me, family, like, why you didn't tell me this? I was like, you don't understand. Yeah. I had my little circle that, like prayer circle, people who kind of knew. But, and that was it. We just kind of went through it. And I told him afterwards. But this time, I'm like, since I said, God, I'm here for the testimony, I made a video that I sent to my friends. And I'm like smiling through it, just telling everybody, okay, look this, whatever, I'm cancer free, but, so whatever's tried to come back. But you know what? We're going to get through this. So I sent that same video to everybody. And that right there was like the testimony in a sense, just knowing that it's all going to be more than all right.
Amen.
More than all right. Yeah.
Oh, Taneisha.
So, no, listen.
This is crazy because this is my life.
So twice. And you like, let's go. We've been here. This is not a surprise. Like, it's not. What's so funny? It makes me think about the story when Jesus fed the crowd of people, right? He did it more than one time. And his disciples, the second time was like, they're hungry. Where are we going to get food? Right. He was like, how much longer am I going to have to be here? I just showed you before what I would do. And you stuck to that. You stuck to your faith and knowing who God is, knowing who the God that you serve. Like, how dare I act like you didn't do what you just did? Before.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow. That's powerful.
Yeah. It just, girl, that's your journey. Like, the way you carry that is so powerful. Like, you are going to inspire somebody to say, I can carry this.
Right. Yes, you can.
Because you're not carrying it, though. God is carrying it.
You can't. Don't let it ever be on you. And I know it's easier to say and like, look at me and say, okay, she doing this or whatever. Oh, that's just her. She's just excitable anyway. But no, see, the thing is, regardless, just like, so God knows your ways. He knows what you're capable of, what he's going to do. But see, the enemy studies you.
Right.
For sure.
So he's like,
you just said that.
studies you. So
the word she used to.
Wow. She should be here. I'll tell you about how our connection is crazy. But he does. So it's like he knew like right where to hit. He knows like right where to kind of get, so he kind of get to you to try to try to dig in a little bit. And the thing is, what that was with me and my son. Right. Because of the fact that I really wanted him so bad. And it was just one, and it was at the very beginning when, because for one, he was 2, about to be 3. And I had looked at him, and it's like he had a whole feel, because he didn't cry really at that time. And he was looking at me, and he just kind of started crying. And I'm like, I was like, man, like what if? And I was like, no, and right before you could start going down that road,
and you be in a whole other world.
I was just like, you know what, snatch, throw that out.
You have to
step
do
on
that,
it, actually.
Right. Because see how you going through a rabbit hole.
The whole rabbit hole. I'm like, man, because, and then what I started doing is just studying, because I was like, you know what? Lord, you did this before. Because what the enemy had me thinking is that, okay, so you caught breast cancer at the very beginning last time. It didn't even stage. But this time, you got stage 4, girl. What are the odds? You got
Come on,
stage
see
4.
what you be saying? Condemning, telling you these lies.
Yes, like, because people don't,
Deception.
it's not that many, some, but not that many. Women, nah, not a black woman, not that many. So, I had to literally, you got to snatch it. Like, you might pull, I probably pulled some of my hair out doing it. I was like, snatch, throw. No, anytime it was a thought, you just snatch it, throw it.
You got to respond to it, or it's going to grow. If it will literally grow. You have to, you have to literally stop it in its tracks, because the enemy will get into your mind, and he will block you from all the blessings. We just be following along behind them.
Right.
Oh, this is where we going? Okay, no. God said I am not leading you there.
Nope.
That is not where I'm taking you. And you know what I love too? You said that I'm down for the testimony.
Right.
Recognizing that it's not about you. It's bigger than you.
Right.
There are so many women, men and women, clearly, right, that has to hear your testimony, have to know how you have overcome your journey, so they can also be inspired. So I love that. You start pulling the camera out. Like, look at you telling your story. Like, that's
let me
huge.
just right here, right now, on this day. I was sitting here, I was probably cooking, maybe it was like, it had to be Christmas dinner. I'm cooking. I was like, let me just take some time right here to tell people just to put it out, take some time, just record this right now. Yeah, and just knowing, I just love that I journaled my way through that because I was like, this is going to be a book, like 90 days of healing. I'm just manifesting everything, like 100 days of healing. And literally, like, before that 100th day, it was no cancer. It was like no evidence of cancer. I was just,
come on, Favor.
Like, Lord, you just.
Now, this is so beautiful. I have to know, Ayanna, like, your aunt.
Yeah.
Just tell me, like, how would you describe her? Like, this journey that you're on with her, what is that experience like? Like, witnessing her live her life the way that she does.
She doesn't let other people's emotions bottle her emotions.
Okay.
There could be a lot of things going on around her, but she's not going to let it bother her. Like with me personally, I'm a mirror. So obviously if you're like this, and I'm going to come down, but she doesn't. Like even the way she responds is like, Lord, I'm like, Lord, this is why I know that she's supposed to be in my life. Because it's not just like she's my aunt. Yes, I have a lot of aunts, but why her?
Wow.
And I feel like it's preparing me to be a better person, really, because to study, because I'm the person, I got something to say, and I'm going to say it right now. But no, she kind of, she learns how to respond. And, if it's not going to be the way the Lord will have her respond, she might not say nothing. And it will be more like she says, classy, clap back.
Yeah.
Well, she's teaching me how to do that because, I used to be like.
You don't even know you got cut.
No.
You said clap back, but no class.
Yeah. Nope, no class at all. But she's teaching me that. So, but I'm like, Lord, wow, Wow. I feel like when you're in, it kind of reminds me like of Jesus and Peter, like just more like the disciples.
Yeah.
So, they're with Jesus and they don't know what they have in front of them.
Come on.
But then when he's gone, it's like, wow. Like that's why he's like, go out and build disciples. So obviously with me being with her, I'm being in my human mind. And, sometimes you don't see it, but then you're like, wow, wait, Lord, like, okay, you want me to be with my aunt? Okay, I'm supposed to be the one to pray for her. Okay, you said that she was the one praying for me, and now I'm, going the journey that I'm supposed to go. I didn't even know I was supposed to be on this journey, but here I am, So I just, sometimes I'm like, wow, God, like.
That's beautiful. No. And I always, like, I know when we talked, I always say, God is so strategic.
He's very strategic.
Like,
because,
we here. Yeah. It's so funny how we've been saying a lot of the same things. No. But like when we talked about it being bigger than you, like, even, yes, inspiring others, but even building other young women. Like,
with everything, like, even, and not even just with the disease thing, like your mental health.
Yeah.
Because I was having, like, some moments last week, and she was like, no, you cast that. Every time it comes back up, you cast that thing back down. And you say the word over that thing. And every time you think about it, or maybe God gave you a particular promise or something like that. And every time you think about, but God, you said that this is going to happen at this time, you're like, don't think about that. Think about him, and he'll do the rest.
Yeah.
So like that's even teaching me with that. I'm like, okay. You know what? Thank you, Lord. Thank you for my Lord.
That mindset.
It's the mindset.
It's constant. It's the reps. It's constant repetition. You gotta, every time you face it, you have an opportunity to make a decision and say, okay, you know what? This is how I'm gonna respond. I'm not gonna feed into it. I'm not gonna allow my mind to take over. I'm not gonna allow what's going on, these circumstances, to become my reality. Like I believe in what God is doing in my life.
Right.
And we have to be reminded of the spirit of the truth. Right. He said the Holy Spirit is the spirit of the truth. He will literally, and in 1 Peter it says, think of things that are righteous, that are what did he say? Glorious to God. Yeah. Paraphrasing, that's my own.
Right. Basically,
that's what.
It's not an NLT. It's probably like an MLK.
But he understands.
But he said, he said things, we even know the scripture, think of things that are above and not below. Not beneath. Like beneath, exactly. And even, I love this too. The woman who turned into a pillar of salt. Yes. Right? And she was too focused on the past. Jesus even said anyone who puts their hand to the plow and is thinking about the past is not fit for the kingdom. No. And even in you, the second time around, it's like, okay, I'm not gonna allow it. I'm not looking back there. I'm still looking forward. Still looking forward. So you moving forward, right? And you started GOE Team Consulting. Yes, God over everything.
Over everything.
Tell me. So you started GOE Team after the first experience of breast cancer?
Yes. Okay. Because was it 2018? So yes and no. Yes, because I had it all figured out, but I wasn't on paper. Right. Okay. Before, like we're just doing things. Okay, what? Because I already had something in just under wraps that could really help people. Help people make money doing this. Okay, yep, you could use that to invest for something else. I had that whole mindset of things, but it just like he started just putting different things in order. And I know that the second part was a part of that plan. Of course, God did not say, look, you're going to get cancer. You're going to this. He knew the enemy might try to plan. But he's like, if this happens, she's going to get through this. And this is how it's going to help this even more to be able to reach people. But yeah, so with that, just doing mindset has been my main thing on everything. That's why like one of the first services that we do with the GOE Team is mindset training.
So so this is what I want to do. Tell me as a client, what can they expect to receive? And within like, what is GOE Team for a business owner?
Okay, so GOE Team for a business owner is we meet you where you are. Because the thing is, a lot of times people, they just have just an inkling in their mind that I want to start a business. I need to do something more. So just taking you from just that thought and kind of cultivating that, right? For the pre-GOE Team in you, the pre-business owner in you, right? But then, so you have that, we have a part to work with you on that. So that's like when the service you could pick for like just the mindset training and stepping forward to the business building package. And even before that, we have like a digital product that we send out free. A digital product, so you can kind of learn some things and see why, just roll with us. We can do some things. We're not trying to just scrape you broke, but what we want to say. We want to teach you that, hey, you are worth time and money. Your time is money. So, you need to get paid. So you need to get paid, so does she. So does we, right?
Absolutely. And I love that. Now we're going to dive into that digital project or product. But first starting now, reversing back to what you were saying about the mindset. Yes. Why is it important for business owners to start with the mindset? And I just want to add this caveat because I know when I started my journey, I'm like, okay, God, we're about to get this bag. Isn't that like the lingo this year? And it's like, let's go get the money. And then God was like, I'm building character for the first 6+ months before you even see $1 of profit. We have to build you up to steward this business effectively. That is important. Do you want a brand? Do you want a business? Do you want a legacy? You want it to be everlasting, or are you in it for just the moment, just to get a few dollars? So that was my spiel. Wow. Tell me, what's the importance of business owners starting with their mindset?
You have to, because see, the thing is, a lot of times people, they see business owners, or if they have somebody that they know, they start a business. They got it all figured out. They was working here, but they left their job. Wow, and they're doing this. They just think you're floating off with the wind, and you got, the whole, Prince Charming on the way. Everything, right? Which can come. It can happen, right? Like that. But I just always think about what's the song? the Ericas, Campbell, the Marys. It's the God in me. You know, it's like people what they don't see.
Girl, because when I hit the flow, when I close the door and I hit the flow.
You don't know how much I pray. You don't know how much I gave.
That is true.
And that's the real truth. So the thing is, you can't come into, okay, look, I'm about to start this business. I got this little amount of money right here. And I know look, in Michigan, it don't cost nothing really to actually start your LLC. That's the blessing in that, right? So, yes, I could just do this, boom, start this business and go. But honestly, I just think if you just start a business and you haven't started anything with your mind, like books, I mean, of course you need to read your Bible. If you don't, because the thing is, I'm talking to like not just people who start businesses as believers. That's great because, just because you're a believer doesn't mean you're really there yet either.
Yeah. Okay.
So, reading your Bible will get you there. But, it's different books that you should read that can kind of get your mindset together. You're thinking about just because you're reading Think and Grow Rich. Oh, that's all you're thinking about is money. But if you really understood like all the different biblical terminology that's in that book that can really get you to where your mind needs to be, you got to think, you have to read things, put things in front of you, listen to things instead of listen to, your trap song, whatever. Sometimes even your gospel music. Listen to somebody who's talking, is pouring into you stories. Because look,
how do you walk your clients through their mindset?
So it's like we had this thing. It was like a billionaire book club.
Okay.
That we would meet once a week. So we'll all pick a book and we'll read that book. And sometimes I know even in the beginning when we started that, I was like, I wouldn't even get the chapters whatever read. So, but you're doing the Cliff Notes version, this talk about something. But when you see other people's what they got from it, and it's kind of like, oh, you read that? I actually read this. Well, let me read this again, so you can get something into you, whatever, right? So just walking people in like, okay, so first thing that I ask people is like, so what book you reading?
Come on.
They be looking like, sometimes people, I ain't read no book in like since school or whatever, right? But and then just letting people meeting them where they are, because just because you're not reading yet doesn't mean that you should be shamed for it.
Right.
It's like, you know what? Start off with Audible. Actually, go on YouTube and pull this book up right now. Listen to this one, and I'm telling you, it's going to turn your life around. Just thinking about like millionaire secrets. Some secrets to that. Yes, you have to read this book by T. Harv Eker. Just different things. Throwing the shameless plug.
Right. Because I'm actually going to know myself.
Yeah, I'm actually reading that book right now. That's why it's like fresh off the dome. But yeah, like what books are you reading? And that right there kind of starts the mindset. Because they're like, I don't read books. Well, like, have you ever read about what, you talked about what you wanted to do, especially if they're talking about like money, you got a money number that you're trying to make. So how do you know anybody who makes that money amount? Say, well, no, my family, I'm just trying to change the generation. Everybody want to create a generation of wealth. I'm trying to change that around. Okay, well, do you know what people who make that amount, what they do on a daily? Like, what is their daily schedule? So just kind of get people thinking about what's next. What should I be doing?
Because it's a lifestyle change.
Yes, it's a lifestyle change. And you can't just change your lifestyle overnight. Like, you can't be a lottery with your business, like lottery mindset. Like, I'm going to get, what's going to happen? I'm going to get this contract, and then, boom, we going to blow up. Because the thing is, look, that was me.
All of us. Everybody going to have one. And even if that is the case, if you don't have the mindset or the character to sustain it, exactly, it wouldn't even matter. So now they're doing the mindset training, right? So then what's next as a business owner going through your program?
Yeah, so once we kind of get your mindset figuring out, okay, like, some people, they might be, okay, like, she's going to read this book, like, I'm trying to get to this money. Like,
right.
I really need it now, right? So, I just really kind of put forth different opportunities where, things that you can actually do to make money so that you can actually start your business.
Right.
So point them in that direction. You can take a class, you could do this, different things that are out there, and even different things that you can actually do that can really help you along the way. Yeah. And that's where our digital product comes in at, because with there we have so many different notes of like just starting with, okay, digital products. All right, what do you mean when you say digital product? Like, I don't have nothing yet. I got to write this book or do something. Not at all. Reach out to us and we'll show you how you can actually make money. It's called, you ever heard of like, OPM, right?
Yeah.
Other people's money.
Yeah.
Well, look, you know what? It's other people's stuff. Pops, I call it.
Okay.
Other people's stuff. You can make money off of other people's stuff, and that can get you to where you need to be.
I love that. You know what's so funny? Because I always say to you, like, your coaching. Like you have clients that you're working with, you know, is it one by one? Like, and it's just like, it's a blessing. Yeah. It's truly a blessing. Like always, like mentorship is important. Coaching is important. That's something I had to learn in my journey. Like you can't do it on your own.
No, you can't.
You need help. You need someone who's experienced, someone who can give you that different perspective. You're telling someone, what book are you reading? If they haven't read a book, that's already opening your mind in that capacity. Like, I need to start reading books. Right. Okay, cool. Now, I have to learn more about my mindset. Now, there's a digital product that I can utilize to really build my company. Like, so many businesses, we all need direction.
Yeah, right.
We do. No matter how much you earn as a business owner, you will always need mentorship.
Right.
Yes.
You should always want to grow and be a student at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So I think that's amazing. So can we learn more about this digital product? Can you tell me, I don't know if it's like top secret. I heard you say reach out to us. Right? If it's top secret, that's fine. Because I do understand all the importance of, you know, just let me know. Is that something that we can talk about?
Yeah, no, it's not top secret. Just it's kind of just, you know, pulling together like just getting your wheels spinning.
Okay.
Because everything that it talks about is out here. Like they can research and find some things, right? But it's just really getting your mind spinning about something that, you know, really everybody has a talent.
Yeah.
And just thinking about what are you good at? What do you do better than anybody around you? And you can kind of pinpoint that, like, oh, you know, I mean, you know, I'm really good with kids, or maybe I'm creative. I'm a creative. I like doing this, but you haven't really put a pinpoint on what it is yet.
Right.
Okay.
That right there, you know, just kind of helping you say, okay, well, look, you know, it's look for other people that are doing what you want to do.
Right.
So your software, in a sense, diagnoses the person from where they are, what their aspirations are, and it helps them to formulate their business. Or if you already have a foundation, it helps you to scale it, in a sense. Is that what I'm understanding?
So that's not even getting to the software part yet.
Oh,
so that's
okay.
So the first part is like, it's more so like, you know, books you're reading, and, you know, kind of we have some extra pieces to give you. So, you know, once you buy into our program, or, you know, you just, hey, I want to be a part of the GOE team. What I need to do, right? But then on that part where you have like the just the software, that's more so for the business owners. Because see, look, if you find you can go from like 0 to 100 with us.
Right.
Because say you start where you don't know. I mean, not calling you a 0 because you always the hero. Okay.
Come on.
I'm so whack. I'm sorry. I'm a nerd. But
you are flourishing, girl.
Yeah. But like, you know, from when you don't really know what you're gonna do, and then, you know, you have that business, and yes, it's developing. Because I work with like higher ticket businesses who, you know, they didn't go through me to start their business. They just have companies where they just started a business. But most of the time when you're there, you don't have time to really build the business. It's like you're so into it, and what's next? You know, you're trying to service your clients, you're doing this, but then you want growth. But, you know, okay, to do that, you need to hire a marketing team and do all this.
Right.
But a lot of people smaller businesses can't really afford to just say, okay, look, I'm about to put at least another $60,000 in our budget so we can pay somebody to do all this other stuff.
Yeah.
You know, so we stand in the gap right there to be able to help them to, you know, and not have to charge that big fee that they're trying to avoid because they think that they don't need marketing. But, you know, we all need to have somebody because look, everybody has that talent.
Yep.
They can actually do that. So we actually have a software that really helps with that and bring it into the digital age, because working with a lot of people are afraid of AI and what it's going to do here, but it's not even nothing to be afraid of. It's inevitable. But what we can do is make it adopt it in the kingdom so it can only be really eradicated. We can eradicate whatever the enemy has, and we can use it for the good. The good of business, the good of, you know, so if we can make that, so then people, when they see it, they'll say, oh, this is what you're supposed to do with AI stuff. Not, oh, we're going to use AI to take over the world and kill off all the human. No.
Because people, you have to utilize it though. Right. With anything. Right. AI, social media, like how am I utilizing this software? What am I doing to contribute to this software? How am I allowing it to contribute to my life? Like even with the chat GPT, I always say GBT, but even with that, it's like, okay, cool. If you want to plug in some prompts or what have you, okay, utilize those words and that verbiage and those, you know, what you're learning from it, so that you're not always relying on it in a sense. So use it to your best advantage. But okay, wow, this is amazing. So you can go from, like you keep saying, I'm meeting you where you are. Right. You may have a thought. Right. Exactly. Now from that thought, we're gravitating and we're going, it's like promotions. Like you're constantly graduating throughout the community. I love that.
Yeah. That's when you just said it, what really just hit me, like you said, you're going from a thought, and I just thought, like, man, God over everything. Because see, that's what a thought, like I had a thought, and then he spoke.
He spoke, right.
And it's like everything that, so
he wants his kids to do the same thing.
This is good. This is good.
No, that's good.
Wow. So as a business owner, right, so you're using the software. So can I use me as an example?
Yeah.
Because I love how versatile your program is, right? So me as a media company, how would my media company be able to utilize the software?
So what we would do, of course, it's the same thing, the consultation, to meet you where you are, to say, okay, well, I got this going. I know, look, my kid, she got everything going on, okay? She here and there. She got it all set up, right? But, at the end of the day, because she has it all, that means that, she's right here ready for that growth, that expansion, right? Regardless, like even though she's doing well, everything, can be expanded. So, meeting you and just understanding like all the logistics, the things you have going on, and just seeing, because with everything, there's always like little pieces where you could kind of slide something in.
Yeah.
Sometimes people, when you think like, oh man, look, my schedule is like this and that, I barely don't even have time to meet with you to talk about how you can maybe make whatever better. I don't have time to do an interview to try to find out somebody who could do it. Then I got to discuss what the pricing is that I need to think about. Right. If I want to go to this next level. So, you just meet them where they are and then say, okay, well, what are you thinking that if you were thinking about marketing, what are you thinking the budget is?
Okay.
And, hear you out from where you are, tell you what that really is and what it can and what it can't be. And then we say, how can we get there? What does it look like if you were there? What would you be doing if you did reach that number? And we could kind of talk about that. And then we'll just go through different things that we can do to get you there without having you try to stress yourself out to get it done.
So you essentially would be building those marketing campaigns to help scale the business. And wow.
Yeah. So we build, and it's the thing that I really love about it, especially like you got to have a mentor in everything, right? Because I'm like the most non-techie millennial, but you got to know people. Like you can't be the biggest fish in your pond.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about, right? So meeting with people and always educating yourself. And like I have Ayanna, she's in this program with me that we're about to start next week.
Okay.
so she's going to be learning a lot of stuff about more things about AI and stuff too. But what things that, he's taught me and what he's been talking about, like, if you take this, to this level here. So I've been able to take my expertise of what I've been doing before, AI isn't a thing, and to be able to place it in there with what he's doing and kind of, he'll massage. People who know what they're doing, they kind of gloss you up a little bit. So because if somebody gloss me up, then hey, I'm just doing what God does. He gonna gloss you up too.
Right.
So I'm like, we're gonna be up here glossy. We're gonna be winning.
Wow. No, that's exciting. So can you tell everybody where can they find GOE Team? How can they get started and how can they start to amplify their business and really scale it through your services no matter where they are? Where can they get started at?
Yep. So the main thing, we have a website. It's GOETeamConsulting.com, and that's GOE, God over everything, consulting.com, and that's where you can kind of see all the rims of everything. Every page is something different. The first page just talk about the first steps. The second one, it really kind of goes into like, how if I'm this busy business owner, how can you help me without me being in the way? Do I have to put somebody to the side to meet with you? So that right there, that'll go through there. And you just go to the site and really just fill in the information. Just say, okay, look, my name is Taneisha, and this is my number and my email. I just want to know more info. Even if you just send more info, we'll send you over. We'll send you over that first book that I was talking about, the free, the free digital product. And then we go from there. We can say, hey, do you want to meet? I'm not going to charge you for a consultation because I like having conversations. So we'll just figure things out from there. Like, what do we need to do? What are we doing? How are we going to get more in 2024?
Right. Okay. Is that the
more? I know it's a slogan. Okay, logo. 2024. It's still 24. We almost halfway through, but there's still time.
God's timing is so perfect with GOE Team because after the pandemic, during the pandemic, everyone wanted to start a business. It was a thing, right? And a lot of us just wanted to be free, free from working for someone else, just wanted to experience that, wanting to build a legacy. And a lot of us jumped into it without clear direction or are into it and was like, okay, now I'm stuck. How do I scale? So having your software, having your program is so amazing and fundamental because they can understand where they are, where they're headed, and how do I get there. And take me through avenues that I didn't even know existed. And that's the beauty in mentorship. That's the beauty in having someone, guiding you and leading you, coaching you, consulting you. Like, it's all in the same family to me. You know what I'm saying? But having that guidance is so beautiful because we need it. You are not too smart to receive more information. Okay?
Never.
You are never too smart because then you will stop growing and you will be capped at your knowledge. Like, you can't grow. Now, Ayanna, you are, we're not that far apart in age at all. Let me be clear. Nope. I want to be very clear. But, as young women, we're all young women, but, you and your generation, I only say that because now we found out you Gen Z girl. But, she's still a millennial.
I'm millennial at heart,
But
I still played outside,
Right.
I'm still in that generation.
Okay, for the street lights. Okay, cool. You in.
Yeah.
You good. So what advice do you have to your generation, being able to work beside your aunt, seeing her be such a go-getter and you being a go-getter as well and so ambitious? What advice do you have to your generation?
Well, first of all, obviously build a relationship with Christ so that he can show you your purpose and where you're supposed to be. Because years ago, I was in Florida and I didn't even picture myself even being in Michigan. So even moving here, I was like, Lord, you want me to do what? I'm like, okay, God, whatever. It sounds good. I'm not doing that. No. But then I'm like, okay, so I moved here, but I didn't listen to him directly. So he's like, I want you to do this and I want you to do this. And I'm like, okay. And then, you get caught up in stuff. So my aunt was with me the entire time, just praying for me. Thank you, Lord. Thank you. She was praying for me because, your girl was getting into some stuff. Okay. But, I finally, it came to a point where I just was like, okay, God, I'm tired of the same cycle. I'm tired of, I know that I'm supposed to be the change in my family. I don't know how I'm going to get there, but I know that, you can do that. And lo and behold, I have my aunt here who, and I'm like, okay, God, you're using my aunt to show me different things. But yeah, like going back to the point of, in this generation, we have to know him and then he will reveal your purpose. And with knowing your purpose, you can kind of, be directed in that sense. And obviously not being lazy with that because you'll find out your purpose and then still like, okay, I'm just going to sit here and it's going to come to me. No,
from it.
You have to literally do the work too. You can't have the faith and no works.
Come on.
And that's what he's really showing me because I used to be like, okay, God, any day now.
You're like, I told
just
you.
out of the sky. Just like, move today. I want you to go. I want you to do this. And I feel like she's showing me that, So the Lord has a sense of humor, basically.
Yeah. That's amazing. Yeah. That's so good. It's so funny. It's so funny. We're not that far apart at all. I have to be very clear. I used to bother people. Used to try to separate me. Like, listen. So I just want to make that clear. But I do understand that in every generation, there isn't always somebody like you who's growing and seeing it in that capacity. So I ask that because your generation, they need you. Right. All of our generations need us. They need more people like us to see, what's possible for them. So being with your aunt, what do you see the future holding for you?
Well, you know what? Apparently, according to the Lord, let's talk about that. It's funny because hindsight, 2024, the Lord was showing me that. So basically, in the dream that I had, she sat me and my grandmother down, and she gave me like a red. It was like a kind of like a pinkish note card, and it had the number 14 on it. Okay. And she was like, "Now listen, I'm going to give you this card, but I need you to trust me, and then you're going to give it back." And I'm like, okay. And then when she says the same thing to my grandmother's like, oh man, no, I don't want to do this, basically. And I woke up and I'm like, okay, Lord, what does that mean? He says, I want you to read Genesis 26, 27, and 28. So basically, to sum all that up, is the promise to Abraham, it's the promise to Isaac, and then it's the promise to Jacob. And he was saying that I'm going to bless your family this year. If you do exactly what I tell you to do, you will be a millionaire. But obviously with that comes, you have to listen and put in the work behind that. So, and even just another dream that I had recently, she was telling me in the dream, okay, we have this parachute and if I need you to do exactly what I tell you to do, but if it flies away, just try to hold on and, you know, go my way. So I listened to what she said, but I kind of was doing my own little thing. So kind of the parachute kind of at some point fell on her a little bit, and then I had to even it out, but also I almost flew away. Okay, so she's like, if you fly away, just let go. So, but anyways, in the end, the parachute turned it into a tent, and we were able to stick it into the ground. Wow. Now, obviously, I haven't had a whole revelation on that, but the Lord is saying something pertaining to business in me and my aunt. Okay, and I believe it's generational. You know, she's the first generation. I'm the second. DJ might be third. I don't know, but that's just what the Lord is saying thus far. And we might be changing our family. You know,
speak that.
Yeah.
Man. And it's so crazy today because I just texted her, like, I got a new mentor that's really helping us with just my business and just tying everything together. But he was just talking about how when he started and he jumped and he built his parachute on the way down.
Right.
Oh, and I had to text her. I was like, girl, this reminds me of the dream you talked about.
That's not
build the parachute.
at all.
Right. You said you had this dream. He said, yo, you just jumped. And I built my parachute on the way down. Like, huh? Right. Like, to think about that. Because that's crazy. I was like...
I mean, if you think about it, you're jumping too.
Yeah.
You're taking that leap. You're obeying. Right. You're trusting him.
Trusting.
Even if the parachute flies away, you're trusting him. Even if I have to release something to you, I'm trusting you that you're going to work it all together for the good.
Right. Yeah.
Like, I have to be obedient, and I have to trust you enough to even jump out and know that you're carrying me with this parachute. Right. Y'all, come on, Lord. Have your way. Have your way, Lord Jesus. Okay, wow. This is so powerful. I am so excited for your future. It's gonna be.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank y'all for being here. Like, from the moment we've been talking, it's just been
a light. Like, you know, like when you got just light in the room.
Oh, we shining, honey. Okay,
look at the decorations. You know, the chairs.
Shout out to Groundbreaking Studios.
Come on,
Bishop Greg and Ray doing their thing. Absolutely. So I have to ask you a few more questions before we wrap up. What is the future for GOE Team Consulting?
So GOE Team is really just about building. I mean, my background actually is in construction. Yep. And I came back here really on assignment because I said, you know what, I'm coming back here to rebuild my city. So everything has been adding up to that ever since, like from me praying that I could find a church home. I never, like growing up, we went to church, but I never had a church home. And I didn't know that, that you could actually pray for the pastor. And there was this one pastor I heard that was out of California, how he spoke. I'm like, I need a pastor that's going to speak to me like that. And then on that Easter Sunday, I went and I found my pastor. And I was like, this is him. So and I've been with him ever since. So shameless plug to Pastor Andre. Yes, you out here.
Come on to Faith X, y'all.
Okay, come on to Faith X. But it's like everything that he speaks, that he's been speaking, has been like, I'm like, Lord, so you were telling me to do this, and you giving him the same vision too?
Yeah,
like the Dream Center.
Vision is
I've
powerful.
been on that. I'm like, the Dream Center, I'm supposed to be a part of that. So I know that I am going to be like really a pillar in helping to rebuild. Not just, when I told you that I was construction, right? So I did. When I first came back here, I rebuilt all the schools I ever went to. Like we redid them. And then the whole build up of downtown when it first started, did that. Then went on and started rebuilding hotels. Was like hiring hotels from here to really all over the U.S. But I stepped out of that because it was like when something just becomes draining on you, and that can lead to different diseases and stuff, decay. Yeah. But I stepped out of that, and I'm like, you know what? I just realized that not only was I just to build like physical structures, but to rebuild people. So that's really how I got on the mindsets. So the future of GOE Team is really just kind of captivating just one by one. We pull together in the group so we can, because when you have a group of people who are like just like-minded and really upward thinking, so many amazing things can happen, and then you just spread out and go find more, and then we could come together again. Yeah. Oh, you do this, you think this too. So I just feel like the GOE Team is all about connecting others and helping people really win on purpose, because that's what we're here for.
Right. Amen. You know what? I love that.
Come on.
Come on. So for people who want to win on purpose, where can they find you? I know we gave the website. Can you get the website again? And any social media? We'll start with GOE Team, your personal social media, and then Ayanna will have you give yours too.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, because this she not no sidekick here, okay?
Not at all.
She actually
it's really the women behind GOE Team.
So come on. Yes. But yes, so Our website, like we said, is goteamconsulting.com. That's GOE, God over everything. And you can find us also on social media. Our platform on IG is _Go Team, and that's G.O.E Team. The Go Team. And then on Facebook at GOE Team Consulting. Yeah. And also she said we can drop our personal ones too. So you can find me really on all platforms as Chronicles of a Survivor. And Facebook is just my name, Taneisha Tucker, and that's EI.
Love it. I love it. And then Ayanna, what's yours?
Okay, so mine's is Ayanna Charm on Facebook, on TikTok, fashion creator _7. And I think that's on everything. Yep.
Creator, yes.
I love it. Well, ladies, thank y'all so much again. It has been a pleasure.
Come on, Jesus.
Come on, he did his thing. And I want to thank you all for staying locked into another episode of Unlock with Keys. Make sure you tune in next time to see what amazing guests we have. I am your host, Mikey Latia, and that is a wrap. Bye. We can do our wide shot right there. Bye.